and welcome to the Doodle Club. How are you doing? Guess what? The sun has come out in southwest England. I am very excited about that. I know it's not going to last, but oh my goodness, what a difference when the sun comes out. In this week's tutorial in Doodle Club, we're going to do the themes of hearts and flowers. These two images come up a lot when I run a Doodle Club, and people just love it. They love the simplicity of a heart and of a flower, and I'm going to show you how you can put the two together to create some really exciting and beautiful patterns and artwork. Let's go. So, what are we going to need to create these lovely hearts and flowers? We're going to use watercolours or block paints, water spray, some soft brushes, fine liner pen, and some pencils. And we're also going to be using some cookie cutters and pastry cutters. So you don't have to think, oh my gosh, I don't know how to draw a flower, I don't know how to draw a heart. You're going to be fine, and I'm going to show you quite a few little tricks along the way. So I'm going to be working in my sketchbook again. You can work in your own sketchbook. You can have sheets of paper. It's fine, whatever works for you. But the paper needs to be quite good quality because it's going to get a little bit wet. So the first thing we're going to do is going to use our spray bottle and just put some plain water over there. I'm going to make my brush wet, and I'm going to be using these kind of sunshine colours just over the page. I'm going to work over a double page. I didn't do any water on that one. Let's spray that one just very, very lightly, just so that we're not working on a pure white page like that. And if you're doing it really, really quickly, always have a little rag close by just to dry it off. So very light colour, and yellow is brilliant for this. But you can use whatever colour you want. Blue works well as well. But these groups of hearts and flowers, I'm going to be using warm sunshine colours. So the first thing we're going to do is just going to put some circles using a brush like this across the page. I'm going to do it over this side as well. So really, really, really quick and simple. We're going to be doing a lot of flowers and hearts in this. So this is going to end up like a field, a beautiful field of flowers. Like that one. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm liking that already. Really loose. Keep it very, very loose. Don't think about it too much. Don't think about it. It's going to be fine. Leave that to completely dry. While I'm leaving that one to dry, I'm just going to take another piece of paper. I always like to have 2 or 3 things going on at the same time, because while you're leaving something to dry, it means you can get on and do something else. Now this piece of paper, we're going to be cutting up, and so what we're going to do here is to put some more paint on it, and then hopefully by the time we've finished this one, the other page will be dry. So this time I'm going to be using a slightly bigger brush. I'm going to be using the same colours. So these lovely warm colours on the warm side of the colour wheel. And if you watched my lesson last week, you will have a really good idea about the colour wheel and how, if we just use the colours over one side of the colour wheel, it will all work really beautifully together. Now what I'm doing is just covering the page Now, I'm using a brush. The other thing you could use is a sponge. And I've just realised that I have left my sponge in my utility room because I washed it. And and I do have a favourite sponge. It's a natural sponge. So I've had it for months, actually. It's lasted really well. But yeah. But basically we're covering this like that, just with these warm colours. Now I'm going to add a little bit of gold. Now I've got some gold here, which is very subtle, and you can't really see it when it's wet, but when the page dries it will have a very slight shimmer. Don't worry if you haven't got gold, doesn't matter. You don't absolutely need it, but I quite like putting a few little drops of sparkle on here. So this looks really dull at the moment. It doesn't look very exciting at all, but it's going to be fine. And I'm going to leave that one to dry. I've just got another piece of paper. Now this is photocopier paper, so it's really thin. You have to work quite quickly if you're using this sort of paper. And I'm going to get some more vibrant colours. I'm going to be using these as collage. So I will be cutting this out. So you can see straight away that the paper it doesn't really like this sort of treatment, and it will start to break up, but that is fine. That doesn't matter for what we're going to do on this. So don't worry about that. And I might add a little bit of pink to this as well. And these you can produce really quickly, really quickly, as you can see. I'm doing this in real time, so probably about a minute. It's taken me about a minute. And yeah, it will look very messy, and you can see that the paper is very thin, but that would be great for collage. And then finally I'm going to do something quite similar, this time with watercolour paper. So it's a little bit, or you could use cartridge paper. It's just a bit thicker, same colours, same sort of colour combination. Just going to cover this page like this. I'm putting some circles and things like that on it, but I am going to be using this, I'm going to be cutting, using it to cut out some shapes. So yeah, again, have a play, just sort of play with the colours and the shapes. It's just a little bit of a pinky red. The colours will merge together, which I really like, actually. I like it when it does that. And it will sort of bleed. And obviously, because this is watercolour paper, it holds the water really well, and it won't buckle. You could also use wallpaper. Wallpaper lining paper is brilliant. But it does need to be fairly substantial, otherwise it will just all fall apart. So look, again, very quickly. I'm doing that sort of less than a minute. And these lovely kind of sunshiny colours, because the sun has come out. And it's, oh my goodness, what a difference. What a difference. Okay, and I'm going to leave that one to dry. There are lots of ways to do a heart, and while we're leaving all of our other bits and pieces to dry, I'm going to show you some really quick ways. Now obviously the quickest way is to use a stamp. So these are papers that are left over, and oh, there you go, and there you get your heart. Very simple. But if you haven't got one of those, don't worry, you can use a cookie cutter, pastry cutter. You can draw around it and then cut that out. There's another one here, like that. Or you can create your own template. Now the easiest way to do this, scrap of newspaper, fold it in half, and you're going to do half a heart. So you're going to draw half a heart. Now you could, again, you could use your template, but just do it freehand, because if you do it freehand, it will be yours. So you're just going to do half a heart, just like that. Now where have I put my scissors? Oh, here we go, pair of scissors. Now we're going to cut that like this, like that, and then you're going to open it up, and there is your heart. Now you can then use that as a template, put it on there, draw around it, or you can do what I do, is when I've got a piece of, this is an old piece of card, and then I can draw around that, and then I'll have the card template, which is obviously a little bit more substantial. So you can do that. Or, of course, whoops, you could just do it freehand. Like that. And the more you practice, the better you get. So we're back to this one. This is now completely dry. It took about a quarter of an hour to dry. And it does need to be very dry, because we're going to be drawing over the top of these. Now, this is the bit there where people get a little bit scared. And this is why I just like working in a sketchbook, because it doesn't matter if things go wrong. We are just trying things out. And it's so important that you allow yourself to play. So we're going to use these kind of rough circles as part of my design. And it's going to be your design for flowers. So I'm just putting in the petals like this. I'm going to take that one, do something slightly different. Just sort of little loops. And when you've gone round that way, you can go round again. You see what's happening there? So it ends up looking a little bit like a chrysanthemum, which is quite nice, isn't it? This one. Let's have different. Now you could do this with a pencil if you want to, but I really would encourage you to use a fine liner pen straight away, because it doesn't matter if things go a little bit wrong. It really, really doesn't. So we're just going to be building up our flower shapes like this. It's just this one, I think I'll have kind of bigger petals like that. This one more like a daisy, I think. Like that one, and this one. It's quite scribbly, but you see straight away you're getting quite an interesting flower pattern on the page. I'm going to do the same on that one as well. And then what we're going to do for each flower, you're going to put some embellishments on it. And these embellishments are going to be similar to the sort of marks, wiggles that we did last week. So if you haven't checked out last week's tutorial, go and have a look at that one, because I showed lots of different ways of putting marks onto a page, and you can start to use that idea in this on this page as well. Very simple, really, really simple, easy just to do, just dots. Dots could just look so exciting. I get quite excited about dots. Simple lines coming out of the petals. Very free. You know, I'm not thinking about it too much. It's just a very, very free and easy type of idea. just to kind of get you going, really. This is a sweet little one, this, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, and then I'll do some little loops and swirls in this one. Okay, so build your ideas up. I will do this side as well, and then the other pieces will be dry, and then we can go and have a look at what we're going to do with those. Oh, everything got moved around then. Well, these ones are dry now, this one and this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut out some circles, and you can use something to draw around, and we'll do some freehand ones as well. And again, you're not going to spend too much time doing this, but you do want to get, oh, let's just move that over there, as much out of the sheet as possible. Now, I turn it round the other way, because then you don't have to worry about the pencil marks and the pen marks. And I say, and then if things go a little bit wrong, like that one just did, it doesn't matter. That's because I've got my thumb in the way. So I've also got one of these stencils, because what we want to do is to have a whole load of different size circles. I'm just going to do a pot to draw around. And also, if you've got a hole punch, a large hole punch for a circle, you could use that as well. But I do want you to have different size circles, some big and some small. And this is the bit that is going to take you time to cut them out. So, put a nice piece of music on the radio, listen to a lovely podcast, something like that, while you're cutting out all of your circles. Let's just do that one there. I'm going to cut my circles out of this sheet, and with this one I'm going to do the same. We're going to do some, let's do some smaller, perhaps a smaller circle. Oh, I've lost that one. There we go. Some smaller ones, but I'm also going to do some of my hearts. Now this is my my heart template. Now I cut it out of a piece of card, and because I cut it out like that, I can also use this as a stencil. So whatever kind of works best for you, you can start to use that. You can use that as well. And I've also got my cookie cutters as well. So I'm going to cover this with hearts, and I'm going to cut out my circles and my hearts. Well, I just spent, I don't know, about 20 minutes just cutting these out, listening to a lovely podcast and getting these pieces ready. So you should have a collection of circles from your pale sheet, and then hearts from the more vibrant one. And what we're going to do is to put them onto our page. And this is where we can just start to have a bit of a play and really look at the ideas of composition. So composition is just how something is placed on a page, and it's up to you whether you think things work or not. And the lovely thing about this one is obviously the pieces can just be moved about, and we're going to be sticking these on. Some will overlap like this. We're going to put that one in there and have another, and I might not use all of them, but I'm quite liking these. Now with the circles, let me just, I mean, I'm actually quite liking this one, but what I'm going to do with some of the circles, we're going to cut them in half, because we're going to create little shapes like that. I'm going to do a small one as well. So you put one bit like that, one bit like that, and the circles are going to become flowers. I think I'm going to do another one. So you're going to cut that in half, and I'm going to put that one on there. Now I'm going to use just a glue stick. You could use double-sided tape or just any paper glue, whatever you want. Play around with the shapes before you decide where you're going to put them, and then just stick them down. Well, I've stuck my hearts and circles onto the page, so they're all nice and secure. And now what we're going to do is to do some embellishments on the page and on the shapes. And you can do, I'm going to start off with a pencil, and then I'm going to move on to using an acrylic marker pen or a fine liner pen, or you could use a biro, something like that. And what we're going to do, I'm going to start off in this corner here. So basically the circles are going to become flowers. So I'm just putting this over like that. So that's flower there, and then this one is coming round like this, sort of as if it's behind the other shapes, like that. And let me just leave that one, and this one I think I'm going to do marks like that. I'm doing this with pencil because I might remove some of the marks when I start to really look at it. This one, let's just do some sort of frilly bits around here, because we are going to put some stems onto the flowers as well. We're going to work our way through these, and it will all look a little bit messy to begin with. There's always a point in art, whatever you're doing, there's always a point that's really, really messy, and you can kind of look at it and go, oh no, that's terrible. But you have to work through that. And yeah, this is looking a bit messy at the moment, but as we work through, you'll see that it's going to start to come together, because I'm going to be putting some more colour onto these. And again, that's why I'm using a pencil rather than my fine liner pen straight away. Just going to move into this one. Again, I think I might do a bigger petals that you can't really see at the moment. Yeah, that one's going to be a bigger one. Bigger petal as that comes around there. And you know, flower petals, they're all different sizes. There's no symmetrical flower. That just doesn't exist. And we're going to do these ones as well. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these shapes. Okay, so I've done my pencil marks. I'm just going to move in just a little bit and show you what I'm going to do now. So back on, this is so messy, this palette, but I love these colours, absolutely love them. Sticking again to those warm colours of orange, yellow and red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to put some colour on the petals. And I'm going to use a lot of water, and some of the paint is going to go off the edges. So I'm not kind of colouring in. I'm not doing that. I'm using, again, a lot of water. So this one here is it's going to be very orangey. I love this orange. It's just gorgeous. And then this one here, I'm going to do more of a red. So I'm bringing that together. And again, because we're using these colours all on the same side of the colour wheel, it's all going to work together. It's all going to be harmonious, and it will all work together. So I'm going to work my way around each of my colours, each of my shapes, my flower shapes. Like this one, I think I'm going to do this one as sort of an orangey red. Go very loose. Don't think that you've got to keep in the lines, and don't worry about the pencil marks, because we're going to go over those later. It won't matter. It won't matter at all. I'm liking that. There we go. Just put some in there as well. And then the one on the bit on the outside, these ones, I'm going to have these as yellow. Move that across there. Again, very, very loose. And some things I will say, you know, take your time. Others I say, no, do it quickly. Do it quick. Don't think about it too much. When we start thinking about it too much, we can get a bit bogged down, really, and we lose that spontaneity. So I finished this piece for the time being. As you can see, it's very messy, and the paint has moved across the page. It's leaked out, and that is exactly what I want at the moment. So I am going to leave that to dry. While I'm leaving that one to dry, come back to this one. And this is all very dry, and we've got our flowers, and now I'm going to use colouring pencils. Now I'm using my Faber-Castell Polychromos. I really love them. They work beautifully. They're very, very smooth. But you can use whichever pencils you have and whichever pencils you like. You need to have them sharp. So they've got to be sharp. And when we work on each individual flower, you'll see what I mean. Now, the idea, again, we're having all of these lovely warm colours because they all go together. I'm going to start off with this one. Oh, I'm just getting myself comfortable. Okay, I'm going to start off with the yellow, and we're going to start off by doing some shading very carefully. So when we were working with paint, with the watercolour, we were very, very sloppy. Now we're going to take a little bit more care. And we're going to start to bring these flowers to life. Now I use a circular motion with colouring, and I'm using the pencil quite lightly because we can add more pressure to get more depth, but you can never take it away. So you start off filling that bit like that. Now I'm going to switch to orange, into the middle. Again, I'm still using the pencil really lightly, but can you see how these colouring pencils blend? They are really lovely. Look at that. Just gradually. So I'm picking up on the colour of the watercolour already. And I'm going to just build up bit by bit on each of these petals. So I'm going to do another demonstration here. And when you do this bit, it's just, I just find it really relaxing. Really, really love this kind of shading. And it's when I will listen to some music or a story or a podcast or something like that. Let's bring that there. Bring that one like that. Now I'm going to use the same yellow. I'm just going to show you what happens when you press hard. Now with yellow, you can't get a lot of tonal variation with yellow. It's the only colour that you can't actually. All of the other colours you can get a lot of variation, and for this particular flower that's what I want. So I'm going to do that like that. Just going to move it. I'm just going to check on. You can see I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to use this pink, because this one, again, I'm going to start off quite lightly. You see that? Again, doing that kind of circular bit there. But when we go into this bit, I'm going to press hard. So you can see the real contrasts in using this pink. Let's just do it there. So if I press really hard, it goes dark. And then I can get lighter and lighter as it comes out. So I bring all of those together. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to show you another one. Let's do this one here with a slightly different technique. I'm going to start off with these middle bits in my orange. Again, doing these quite lightly. Like that. I hope you're enjoying this tutorial. I'm enjoying it. Perhaps you give it a like if you haven't done so already. Thank you for your comments. Some lovely comments. So kind of you to comment. It makes a big difference. Thank you. Now can you see I'm doing that darker there. Let's just like that. And then with the outer one, I'm going to do it with the yellow. Again, this I'm doing quite loosely, because again with yellow, yellow is a really interesting colour. I love it actually, it's one of my favourite colours. And then I'm going to use the orange again, but this time I'm going to use the orange on the edges. Like that. And you see what's happening? Just getting that kind of 3D effect. Gives it a little bit more interest. And you can try out these techniques on each individual flower. Let's do that one. And again, I think I'm going to do this actually really quite dark at that little tip. Like that. And you see that that's building up. I do the same in the middle, and that's what you're going to do. So it's on all of them, and then we're going to put the stems, and then we'll also be doing our other one as well. So here we are back on this one. This is all beautifully dry. I can run my hands over it, and it's really important that it is dry. Now we're going to be using our colouring pencils again and the fine liner. So we're going to start off, I'm just going to do a little bit to show you. We're going to work on this bit here, and we're going to go into the negative space. Now I'm using a contrasting colour. So whatever colour your petal is, go for a contrasting one, but still in your warm colours. We're still doing those. Just going to just sort of fade that out. So we're just coming to, we're using the negative space, the background. Just to pop that in there. Can you see what happens with the petals when we do this? And this is why it doesn't matter when you're it didn't matter when your watercolour paint goes over the edges, because it actually just makes it much more interesting, much more exciting. Just going into that bit there. So this is where I'm pressing hard in that bit, and then just fading out. There we go. I'm just going to do this bit here so you can get that idea. And this is why I really like combining different media. It's I think it's quite underrated actually. They're using paint and colouring pencils. There's not many people do it. I don't know why, because it's great. It's really good. So that's kind of the idea. I'm going to take let's take another one. I'm going to do down here. Just make sure you can see that. So start off quite lightly. And you might just, with the this yellow and the pink, there's already a contrast, so I might not actually do this dark. Yeah, I'm just sort of filling in that negative space, the background, so getting rid of the sort of the white space. And with this heart, seeing that bit there, going to do a little bit in there. Quite liking that, and I'll do some more on the rest of it. Okay, the next bit is using the fine liner pen, and this is where we're going to go round the shapes where our pencil lines were. Now you're going to take a bit of time to do this. Which make them kind of quite wiggly, like this. And then within those shapes, just bring a little bit of pattern. Like that, and you can really play with it.
Let's just really see what will work and what will look fun. Like this, just doing these ones. Like that. Quite liking that. And see where that big circle was? I think I'm going to go sort of perhaps some wiggly bits around that edge, because there's really like one of these flowers, this red flower here, is in front of the yellow flower, and this is the effect that I want. It's as if it's a whole meadow. It's a whole meadow of flowers, and when you look at a meadow of flowers, you can't see easily each individual flower, and that is the effect that I want. And like with this little one, yeah, I'm going to have this one in front of that orange one. Let's just put those in like that, because that's quite fun. A few little dots, quite like that. And so I'm going to do that for, let's just do this little one while we're here, because I want to start putting some stems in place. Now again, if you're thinking about a flower meadow, then the stems are going to be all over the place and you won't be able to see each individual stem. So I'm just going to put a stem on here. I'm just going to put that bit there. And this stem is going to go across this heart, like that, but it's going to go behind this flower. And then I'm just going to put some leaves. You see that one's there. And this flower here, I'm going to put in another stem. And that's going to come out there as well. Let's put that there. And not every flower will have the stem, because in a meadow you won't be able to see them. I'm moving on to this side now. Just using the shapes as a guideline where those pencil marks were. Like that. And then, yeah, I do like dots. I think dots can look really, really effective. Just putting some more lines over there. Now where you've got a heart, again, you can decorate your hearts. It's like there's lots of love in this flower meadow. Just doing little doodles around the space. Just do that there. I really hope you're enjoying this. It's art is supposed to be enjoyable. Sometimes it's frustrating when things don't go quite how we want them to go, but most of the time I love it. Just give that a shake. A bit of a shake there. And just bring that round there. I find it very relaxing most of the time. Sometimes it's very frustrating, but most of the time it's something that I just look forward to doing every day. Do something every day, even it's just a tiny little doodle, and it's that practice of doodling every day. So it hasn't got a lot to do with talent, actually. It really, really doesn't. It's to do with perseverance and giving it a go. So I'm going to carry on and finish off the whole of those pages. And now I have finished this one. Oh, my voice went a bit weird then. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. I might come back to it in a couple of days and have a look and see if there's anything else that I want to do. So now I'm going to go back to this one. And again, there's not much more to do. I've put some more shading in, and I might do a little bit on that as well. So all we're going to do now is to put in some stems. So I'm just going to go down here, come across there, wiggle down, and then put in a few little leaves. Come down this way. It's all good fun. There we go. Just pull that one down there, and have that one. Just really let the pen flow. Let your hand flow, because there's very few flowers that have dead straight stems. They will all be wiggling about. Let's just put in a few leaves here, so as if they're waving in the wind. I'm going to bring that one down here. And then as you're putting in your stems, you can be thinking about the things that you've enjoyed, things that you really like when you've been playing around with these thoughts and ideas. I'm going to take that right down in front of that one. Don't be afraid to do that. Like this, take that one, that's going to come down there. And there we are. So we've got that one finished. And that one. I really hope you've enjoyed this week's Doodle Club. If you haven't liked or subscribed, you might want to do that. That would be really lovely. And I hope to see you next week. Bye bye.